Um, Set yourselves up, guys. Today we're going to be seated, so let's get comfortable. So always remember that I think part of what we're doing is trying to put and to contextualize what we're teaching is to remember where we sort of built our foundations, right? So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, and then after that we go into the meditative states. So the reason for that is a couple of things really. The barriers to coming into a meditative state are the barriers that surround us, right? That are in nature and that are in our karma and things we deal with. When we lie down on a mat or when we get comfortable, if our mind is thinking of something else, is thinking of the harm I've done, or if I'm somehow on the karmic state, disaligned or unbalanced, I can't stay in a meditative state. I have to fix that. And then, of course, physically, if we cannot sit comfortably, if we're always fidgeting, asana, right? Then our mind will always fidget. We can't start fixating. So we take care of that level first. Then, as we go on, we start looking at the pranayama. Again, why? Because we want a pattern of breathing that is very consistent and that is meditative on its own, no? So that when you let it go, when you're no longer thinking about it, it is still trained to be efficient and everything. And why is that? It's really because we make compromises as a human being, right? Our body makes compromises. We can't shift into a fully relaxed state if we are not fully relaxed. Our energy goes someplace else, right? And in order to start working on the meditative states, we really need to work on these others. So if you have started your pranayama practice, your asana practice, review them, reconnect, see if you can get back into it, so that it allows you to stay quiet for longer periods of time and be able to focus, because that's really ultimately what meditation is about, right? The essence of meditation is awareness. By doing something with awareness, you have now transformed that to a meditation. Now, in general, we're going to go from a very broad understanding and very simplistic understanding of meditation, the entry into it. Right? Today, I'd like to cover the basic meditation techniques and the basic mantra. And the reason why mantra is important, if only silent ones, is because the belief in yoga is that the universe is created from sound. And we are creations of energetic sound. And you'll see that when we start speaking about the chakras and we start doing chakra illuminations. But what's most important is to understand that we can use sound to both focus our mind, but also to focus our energy inwards. The other thing that I'd like to point out about meditation itself, again, take it slow, a few minutes at a time. Don't try to overburden yourself. But there are many types, right? But you can broadly categorize meditation into two types: the calming meditations, the ones that bring us into quiet spaces, and then you have the insightful meditations that bring us into deeper understanding of ourselves and the world that we live in. So given these two categories, there are many traditional ones that you can explore, and I suggest that you explore the traditional ones first. And then you start looking at developing your own techniques and seeing what works for you. Right? Okay, so today I'm going to ask you again, if you're not properly cross-legged yet, you can, if you wanted to take a lotus and you did practice this morning, then of course you may take that. The idea is two things. One, you're comfortable. Two, that you have a straight spine. So posture is maintained. And why is that? Because as we start playing with the chakras, as we start playing with the nervous energy of the body, we want a free flow during that. Okay, so placing the hands first on top of the knees and just using the hands to pull yourself forward a little bit so that you come into a straight back, and then slowly allow yourself to rest back so that the shoulders are over the hips. As you inhale, just drawing the breath in through the nose. As you exhale, just allowing the breath to go, closing the eyes. Inhaling again through the nose, inhaling into the pelvic muscles, into the belly, into the diaphragm, into the chest, into the back, into the neck. And then as you exhale, opening the mouth, letting everything go, whispering it out, creating a mantra, the primary mantra with the breath, inhaling, breathing in through the nose, into the pit of the belly, into the diaphragm, broadening the entire chest. As you exhale, opening the mouth. Now, keeping the mouth closed, inhaling one more time, into the pit of the belly, into the diaphragm, into the chest. As you exhale, lifting the pelvic muscles, drawing the belly in, just reminding the body of the rhythm. And then let go. Allow the breath to start moving on its own. Try not to force yourself to control the breath, and just allow the breath to work on its own. And just notice that by observing the breath, you begin to see a different breath. It changes, knowing that it's under observation. Closing the eyes, just internalizing your vision, your proprioception, imagining perhaps a small pinprick of light that you can start focusing inwards, and letting that light drop down into the torso. Following this light, just imagine you're shining a flashlight in the midst of a dark cavern, seeking the sides, just watching the breath as it comes in and out, as if it's wind that's being blown through, whistling in and out. And then as you exhale, just slowly watch how the exhale leaves the body, how reluctantly we allow the breath to go. And as you observe the inhales, just notice how it's an almost thirsty feeling of allowing the breath to come in. Just beginning to observe the up and down motion of the belly, and perhaps drawing the attention a little bit deeper as to what happens in the cellular or in the circulatory system. Just beginning to feel the connection between the pulse and the breathing. And then beginning to imagine that that breath pulsates deeper into the cells as you breathe, as it's circulated in, enervating, illuminating, all of the light pouring in past these barriers inside us. And then drawing the attention back inwards, just allowing the mind to settle into the spine. And just with each inhale, just feeling the energy begin to rise up the spine. Exhales, allowing the energy to start coming downwards. And then slowly releasing, blinking open the eyes, and opening. When we observe our body, we begin changing the body. When we observe the breathing, we change almost immediately. There's this change, right? You can't help it, but what happens really is that the connection, the awareness, the awakening of that system happens. In order for this to happen, you have to understand what that system does. We know that our breathing is respiratory. We take in oxygen and we cleanse ourselves out of carbon dioxide. But when we understand that this oxygen goes down to the cellular level and creates these sparks and ignitions, right, that power us and that bring us to life, And once we delve into that through observation, then we begin to truly understand the wonder it is that we are. Right? And in order to really do this, you need time. You need to spend time exploring the breath. You need to, but it's the same for every system: the circulatory system, the limbic system, the all of the digestive system. By understanding what it does and how it functions, by then meditating on that area, by bringing your proprioception into the area, you can then heal, and you can then supercharge, you can then enervate. So there are many things that you can do with a meditation. And a lot of it is really bringing calming awareness. So that state of calmness, but also that state of hyper awareness into that system. So my encouragement is learn the rest of our biology, the inner organs, these systems that make us, and then start putting that into your meditative imaginations, right? And again, we are creating these universes that exist in our minds that we cannot see with our eyes nor feel with our skin, but we turn this all inwards and see it and explore it with our minds. Okay, so then I'd like to introduce a mantra. And the first mantra is the mantra of So Hum. So it's a funny one because it's actually not aspirated, although you can say hum. So is the sound of the inhale. So just silently in your head during the inhales and just watching the inhale, it's so. Hum is the exhale. Right? And this is really I am, I am. It is the most fundamental. I am that. I am Om. I am, I am. It's the most fundamental of the mantra. And it is our breath that makes us. If you want to imagine that, we are alive because of that breath, and we then give the breath this mantra a name: So Hum, So Hum, So Hum. So closing your eyes, just allowing the attention to fold inwards. And when you meditate, I encourage you to physically roll the eyes either upwards towards the third eye or downwards towards the center of the body, so that the eyes get detached from the sense of sight, and the sense of sight can now roam inwards and start imagining. And then watching the inhale, take a deep, purposeful inhale through the nose, watching it rise through the body. As you exhale, just lifting the pelvic muscles, gently allowing the belly to come in, reminding them of the sequence of the breath. And then relaxing the control, letting the breath come and go. And each time you're inhaling, beginning the So. Every time you're exhaling, Hum. Inhaling So. Hum. So. 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 And keep going on your own, just beginning to feel the vibrations sink into the spine, sink into the heart, sink into the diaphragm. Just watching the breath, pairing it with the sound, and then slowly beginning to release. So there are many ways to start releasing and start going deeper, there we'll explore different chants. We can explore different sounds. When you look at the connection between sound and the chakras and the nervous system, the body uses different frequencies in order to command different parts of the body. So you can imagine that's how it differentiates between nervous signals. And each frequency corresponds to both a color and a sound. And these major chakras in the body, that's why we represent them in colors. And if you look at them, it's just red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. It's the rainbow. It's the spectrum of light. Right? But it is the same for sound. So today, just to end it, we're going to end in a visualization that I find will help you get through a lot of the deeper meditations. Because first, before you go into a meditation, I want you to visit your island in the sky. That's my sort of creation, right? This is my palace, my fantasy land, that from there I can explore the rest of my mind and the rest of this universe. So we must create this safe space in our minds. We must create this sanctuary. And from this sanctuary, then you can start going into deeper explorations. So I'm going to invite you to take a Shavasana. Here, you can come on, since I'll teach it. And just stretch out your legs. You've been sort of lying down for a while or cross-legged for a while. So just allow the legs to come out. Any which way you're comfortable, doesn't matter much, except for one, you're comfortable, and two, that you have a straight spine. Oops, I'm lucky there. And if you allow yourself to just expand, create space in the body, create space in the mind, just allowing the head to relax a little bit, and just softening so that the chest is expressed, the shoulder blades perhaps snuggle a little bit deeper. And then allowing the eyes to roll upwards. Just begin searching for the third eye, the space in between the ears, the space behind the eyes, and start pulling the attention into a smaller and smaller pinprick. And then imagine that this pinprick of light begins descending away from you. And chase it. Just keep following it. As it goes away in the distance, just pull it closer. And just notice that each time you pull it closer, there's a little bit more to it. It starts glowing a little bit more. It starts pulsing a little bit more. It starts getting bigger, deeper, wider, until slowly you're encompassed in light. And this light is so bright that everything is washed out. And slowly, as your eyes begin to adjust, as you begin to adjust, you begin to see this blue of the deepest azure. A sky that is always between day and night. A sky that is broad and clear. And in the distance, you see a speck. Floating, almost held up by clouds. Imagine it. See its fringes, this island that begins to form. See its beaches that open up into nothingness. See these cliffs that hold away the sky from the land. And in your mind, imagine this as yours. That the borders protect you from everything. And within this island, your imagination can create whatever it wants. Pavilions on the beach, tree houses in the forests, palaces of glass, ice, and crystal, libraries filled with the sum total of human knowledge, wonders never before seen, wonders that you yourself have created. And in this wonderland, there lies a prize. And if you can find this prize, you will find everything that you've imagined in this world to become real, to become you. And from here, just allowing yourself to roam, the imagination to be free of any worries, any anxiety, since you are here in your place, this magical island in the sky. And then perhaps realizing that you need company. Just begin imagining that there's someone there, somebody you care about. Think of the walks that you'd go on, the stories that you'd tell, the meals that you would share. Think how you'd treat this wonderful, lovely person. Maybe it's somebody who's already passed. How would you make up for those lost time? And then think about how you've treated that person. And then think perhaps how you treat yourself. Perhaps we don't treat ourselves as well as we do other people, or as we did that person. Or perhaps we don't treat people as well as they treat us. And just beginning to change perhaps a little bit of that perception to bring us back into this world of wonder that you have created, this shell, this bubble. And then letting the mind just settle down, letting the world dissolve. Just beginning to observe the thoughts in the head, letting them go, letting them wash over you. Just linger. And before you leave this space of yours, just remember that that is always there. It is in you. You can call it out, pull it out, cloak yourself, return to it. And then slowly allowing the breath to go if you're still controlling it. And then blinking open the eyes. Just allow yourself to stretch your arms, and you can roll over onto the side and press yourself up. As I'm sure you all know how to do by now. So thank you. It's I've spent a lot of time trying to meditate through life. And that means doing things while meditating. It's hard. It's not easy at all. And I've been lucky that I have my enabler over here to allow me to do all of that. But it's an important step, I think, and I'm very privileged to be able to share that with you. And I hope that you can some way share that with the students, the guests, and your friends. um, but and family, of course. But that's the thing. It's a journey. The only thing I can tell you really what I'd like you to establish is this strong mental space that's you, that's yours, this strong identity. Some of the meditations that you can do include things like meditating on human misery, and you need a strong you really need a strong, because you'll go through every single permutation of the bad things that can happen. Sorry, that's sorry, I think so.
There. Still there.
They're here.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
some.
yeah. Sorry. How, is this
There,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nope,
Nothing.
don't know. That's not supposed to go on. Where's the, sorry, I think I lost you guys, did I?
You're still here, Lasse.
Okay.
We're still
We still can't
here.
hear you.
I don't know why it's not
There.
opening.
There, they can see you. Okay.
Yeah,
Here,
we
We
can
can
see
see
you.
you
that one
We
though.
does.
can hear you.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Sorry, I was, as I was saying, in the end, that's the thing, right? You can take it in many ways, but ultimately it is about our own self discovery. And a lot of you have been practicing asana for a long time. So, bring it to the next and live it. I think that's the most important part. I mean, it's very hard to teach it and everything if you're not trying to at least live it. Go back to the yama niyama, to a check there. The asana, I mean, until now it still helps me. I mean, there's so many things to discover there. Pranayama is a doorway. It's a gateway to everything. And the rest of it, that's your own journey, I think, from there on in. And we can only provide and we can only look at what's been taught to us as well over the years. And from there on, it's really, you're standing on shoulders of meditative giants, right? I mean, if you read enough and you go through there. So yeah, thank you.